Steve Chilcott. I'm Steve Chilcott. I'm a supporter of Reform. I'm a branch chair of Reform in Ealing and Brent. I'm here today to support the farmers. And I think what our politicians have forgotten is that Britain is a farming nation. Farming and farmers form the backbone of this country, and I think a lot of city dwellers like us don't realise that. And of course most of the current government cabinet are city dwellers. They haven't got the first idea about the rest of Britain and about rural issues, and I think they would not have predicted what we've got here today. You annoy the farmers, you annoy a large proportion of the country, and a lot of the country are very, very supportive of our farmers, and they realise the basic no farmers, no food. So we've got to protect our farms, we've got to protect our farmers. This is, the government have attacked two groups of people. First, they attacked the pensioners by taking their fuel allowance off of them. Then they went on to the farmers. They have got no idea the anger that is rising in this country against what this government is doing. And they're doing it based on lies. They didn't base their manifesto on this. Is it a pack of lies? And they are seriously paying off this country, and I'm not certain they're going to last 5 years, and I certainly hope they don't last 5 years. The backlash to what they're doing is huge, and it's going to be growing. They ain't going to last until Keir Starmer, the farmer harmer, is not going to last until 2029. I'm fairly certain of that. And of course, Reform are on the rise. We are going to form the next government. We got 4.1 million votes last time. We're going to get 9 million votes at the next general election. We're building, we're growing. We've got a massive branch structure now. People are joining us in their droves. We've now got 100,000 members. We got Jack Candy join us yesterday as our future treasurer. The money's coming in. Watch this space. People are fed up. I went to a demonstration in Ealing yesterday against Ealing Council, which is a Labour-controlled cabal of liars who are so comfortable in their seats, just like Keir Starmer is in number 10 Downing Street. People are fed up. People that voted Labour are not going to vote Labour again. They've seen what this Labour Party are doing. They're a bunch of liars. They cannot be trusted. They are no better than the sleaze of the Tory government. In fact, they're worse than the sleaze of the Tory government. Didn't take long for us to discover the sleaze of this Labour government. People will not forgive them. People are going to want change. Reform is going to be that change. More and more people are coming on board. People are realising Reform aren't extremists. They're not way out there. We're just sensible, practical people that want to sort out this country. Doesn't matter the colour of your skin, doesn't matter what religion you follow. Reform are there for Britain, for our country, our community and our families. That is the core purpose of Reform. And people are waking up to that. They're not going to vote for the Uni Party. The Tory Party is finished. I think the Labour Party will be finished after this government. What do we have?
Exactly the point. It's a Uni Party, right? So,
yeah.
Conservatives fought an election,
yeah,
and all of a sudden all the attacks on the farmers have begun. So if Conservative were to come back in, would they not continue with it? What's going on?
Exactly.
What would Reform do against the global powers that be that were rushing to continue?
Well, obviously, Reform came out of the Brexit Party. The main driver of Brexit was sovereignty and was independence. We only ever got Brexit in name. We've taken all the detriments and all the costs of Brexit without enjoying the benefits, which was the main purpose of Brexit. And Brexit, again, is not a right-wing issue. Reform is not a right-wing issue party. There are many people in Reform that are ex-Labour supporters, as well as ex-Tory supporters, and more than anything, people that have never supported any political party before in their lives.
I've seen a lot of people joining, but for example, the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, were to pressure Reform and say, look, you need to follow with our agenda.
The numpties that have for decades fallen in for that, in the whole, are career politicians. They're people that have never done normal, proper jobs. They're not people that worked in business. The cabinet doesn't have any people that have worked in business. The business secretary himself has never worked for a business in his life. He went to university. He then became an assistant to an MP. He's now an MP. He's not done a day's work in business, yet Keir Starmer, the farmer harmer, put him in the business secretary role. What the hell is that about? These are idiots. So my point is, it is these career politicians that never lived and worked in the real world that are doing this. That's not reform. Reform are not built on career politicians. They're built on, as I say, independent people that have never been involved in politics, people that have run businesses, people that have just done normal jobs, who know what common sense is. They will not be controlled, in my firm belief, by those world entities that, whatever you think, we know those world entities have influence on our nations. We can argue about the extent of that, but they have influence that they shouldn't have influence, and we have to push back against that. And one of the biggest problems is the civil service. The civil service has far too much influence, far too much political control. They dictate so much. The Tory party, the Tory government did try and do some things, but they were continually up against the civil service. The civil service has to be a major priority for sorting out in this country, because we will never sort the problems that we have. We will never sort out the influence of those international organisations that you referred to if we don't first tackle the civil service. The only person in the world of politics that's ever really talked about that is Dominic Cummings, and he didn't really get very far with it, did he? Now, obviously, he had bumbling Boris to deal with, but he's the only person that I've ever heard really speak out and say the civil service is a key problem that we have to tackle.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. As always.
There's a documentary about this. It's called Yes Minster. Have you seen it?
Yes, Minster.
Yeah. Famous documentary.
The comedy programme, yeah.
Yes, how the country's actually run. They're trying to ban that. Well, I think that was banned.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think it's slightly too accurate.
Yes.
What it is.
Exactly.
Well, it was written by an insider.